In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Rose Sparks by Roman. If you're looking for some extra help in the bedroom, this might be something that you could utilize. I'll go over exactly what Rose Sparks is. I'm going to explain it to you guys super in depth. I'll tell you guys the 3 main benefits that I noticed from personally using Rose Sparks myself, and also 3 cons that I noticed as well. Stick around to the end of the video because I'm actually going to let you guys know the 3rd benefit, which surprised me a lot. So make sure you stick around for that. At the very end, I'll also give you my overall rating and if I would recommend you guys to use Rose Sparks. So what is Rose Sparks? It is technically a ED, so it's like a sexual enhancer pill. You can see right here it has my name on it, but it is 55 milligrams of sildenafil and 22 milligrams of tadalafil. So basically, if you guys don't know what that is, sildenafil is Viagra and tadalafil is basically Cialis. Now Rose Sparks, and why there's been like a lot of hype and like talk about this, is because they actually combine the two of the most popular basically ED pills that men use in the bedroom to help them get it up, to get an erection, sustain an erection. Normally you would take them like separately, but Rose Sparks, as far as I know, is the only company and the first company to actually combine the 2 together. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. I don't know if you guys know, but I do review a bunch of stuff on the channel like this, Blue Chew. If you guys would want to check out a Blue Chew video, check out one right over here. But yeah, when you actually get the Rose Sparks little packet, here's what it looks like right here. So it says Ro on the front and it says for men prescription only. And then at the very back, you can kind of see it has the lozenge in there. So these have kind of been like the new things, and also tells you how it has 55 milligrams of sildenafil and 22 milligrams of tadalafil each. So each one of these lozenges, guys, has a bunch of Viagra and a bunch of tadalafil in it. So that was kind of like a little bit of a head scratcher for me, but these have kind of been like the new wave. Like Blue Chew, they have like the little tiny mints that you can use, and now Rose Sparks, I assume probably as like a competitor, they wanted to make one as well too. So when you open the pack, this isn't a mint, it's actually a lozenge. So if you guys don't know what a lozenge is, maybe you're not American or whatever, it's basically just like a little candy that you could put under your tongue. So in the directions itself, I don't know if you guys saw when I put it up before, but it says dissolve 1 lozenge underneath your tongue for 15 minutes before sex. So that's exactly what I did. When I used it, I cut it in half because I didn't want to take the whole thing, and then I let it sit under my tongue for about 15 minutes. And guys, I will say the taste of it, first off, was kind of weird. I would say it definitely had like a very like medicinal taste, and it wasn't good. I would say Blue Chew and like their mint flavor is a lot better, but it was all right. It wasn't like terrible or anything. It is 55 milligrams of sildenafil and 22 milligrams of tadalafil. And if I'm being honest with you guys, that's kind of a lot. Like for example, whenever I would take Blue Chew, like a similar form of something like this, it would be 8 milligrams. So instead of 8 milligrams for 1 whole Blue Chew, this technically has, let me do the math. What's 55 plus 22? It's like 60, 70, like 77 milligrams of enhancement to help you in the bedroom. So I'm actually gonna go over why I feel like it was too much and a little bit of the cons later. Let's start off with the benefits. So the first benefit that I noticed from using Rose Sparks was that I was able to last a lot longer, guys. That's right. If you guys have a problem finishing too early sometimes, as men, you'd be capping if you didn't admit that sometimes you bust a little bit too quick. I'm guilty as charged. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to try it out, because I wanted to be able to go longer in the bedroom with my partner. Instead of sometimes lasting only 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes on like a great day, dude, with freaking the Rose Sparks lozenge, I would say I probably went for about 45 minutes, almost an hour. Off of the first time trying it, half of it, I went for almost an hour, guys. So if you are somebody who might struggle with like PE, which is premature ejaculation, basically if you just finish too quick and you want to be able to go longer, that's what some of these ED like pill sexual enhancers would help you do. I always tell people that you don't necessarily have to be like a older person to take something like this. For example, I'm only 25, and again, I don't take something like these every time I have sex, but every now and then, you know, it's like, you know, I want to please my lady, I want to please whatever the shorty is that I'm with, and I don't actually want the experience to end too early, because whether you guys will admit it or not, women do not like if you finish early. As a man, you could go for like 5 minutes, and then, you know, when you get your nut, sorry to be too TMI, but when you finish, you feel satisfied. But you know, women take a lot longer than us to kind of heat up and warm up to sex as well too. So if you finish in 5 minutes, dude, especially if it's your first time with a girl, she is gonna be roasting you to her friend. She gonna tell you afterwards like, oh, don't worry about it, it's all right. But I promise she's gonna be joking around with her friends, and you might not get to go for a second time, because if you don't perform well in the bedroom, she's not gonna want to see you again. She's gonna go to somebody who actually knows how to put it down properly and like last longer, you know? So you want to make sure that you're able to last. So again, Rose Sparks definitely hit the mark for that for me. Benefit number 2 of using Roman Rose Sparks was that I noticed that I was also able to go rounds. Now, if you guys don't know, we as men have a refractory period. Basically, what a refractory period is the amount of time before after you finish, before you can go again. So for me, a lot of times, again, I'm 25. When I was younger, sometimes I could go multiple rounds, but now, guys, a lot of times I normally only got 1 round in me. As soon as I finish, I want to go to sleep. I'm tired. I'm done. My big boy down there, he's decommissioned. He can't even get up to go again. So that's one thing about with Rose Sparks, guys. I took it and then we went again for 45 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. The D was done. And guys, literally, like, I'm not even joking, 2 minutes afterwards, I was getting bricked again. I was getting hard again. It was to the point where I was laying in the bed with my shorty and she was laying next to me and she was kind of like feeling me a little bit. And she was like, "Are you hard again already?" And I like looked down and I was like, "Oh shoot, I think I am." And literally went for round 2 right after that, guys. So if you guys are like me and sometimes you have a hard time going multiple rounds, especially like so close together. Now, some guys, you know, you can wait 30 minutes, an hour, boom, then you can go for another round. But for a lot of guys, being able to go for another round like 5, 10, 15 minutes right after you finish, that's gonna be crazy for you and for whatever young lady that you are having the experience with. So yeah, with Rose Sparks, I noticed that I was able to go for rounds and rounds. So if you are looking to go multiple rounds, you wanna kind of spice up the bedroom a little bit again, this will help you with that. And guys, the third benefit I noticed from using Rose Sparks was that I noticed that it actually got bigger down there. That's right, guys. I feel like men are always so amazed whenever I mention that you can actually grow your size down there. And a lot of that has to do with having optimal blood flow within your body. Because what happens whenever you get aroused and excited, blood flows down to the penile region and it fills it up with blood. So a lot of guys don't actually have adequate blood flow in their body due to like bad lifestyle choices. Maybe you used to drink a lot, smoke a lot. Maybe you watch some of those bad videos that we know we're not supposed to be watching. A lot of guys just, they don't get their biggest down there. They're leaving some inches on the table. So with Rose Sparks, guys, I noticed immediately, like again, no TMI, but it was bigger, guys. I promise you it was bigger. It was longer, girthier, and for a lot of guys, what they don't know about as well too is vascularity. Basically, when you have good blood flow down there, you're supposed to be able to see like kind of veins and stuff. It is a little bit different for different guys, but you should be able to see some type of like veins because it's like that. Like it's basically almost like not like plumped up, but there's blood in there, so you can almost like see the blood flowing through the veins. Your veins are supposed to be a little bit veinier. So yeah, guys, I noticed that it was bigger, and the girl that I was with, because you know we've done stuff before as well too, but she was like extra satisfied. You could tell that she knew as well too that it was bigger than normal. So if you guys want to increase your size, Rose Sparks can definitely do that for you. Now, for the people who don't want to take medicine, I actually do have natural methods where you can increase your size as well too. It's going to be the first resource down below, and that's like my full program where I talk about how to increase your size naturally. But if you guys want to kind of get a shortcut and kind of skip right to it, Rose Sparks would help you grow bigger down there. Now, on to the cons. It's important to know the side effects and the potential dangers from using actual medicine like Rose Sparks. Don't get it confused, guys. This is a pharmaceutical. Although you can just go online and like answer a questionnaire and have it delivered to your house, this is technically a pharmaceutical. So the first con that I noticed was that, and I kind of alluded to it earlier, Rose Sparks is way too strong and it works a little bit too good in my opinion. From somebody who's used different things in the past, like Blue Chew, other types of ED pills, some kind of similar to this, having 55 milligrams of sildenafil and 22 milligrams of tadalafil in something like this, it's just way too much. It was to the point where it was cool because again, I was bigger, I was able to last a long time and go rounds with the girl that I was with. But even the next day, like even after like she had left and everything, I literally got woken up in the morning. And again, sorry for being TMI. I got woken up in the morning because I was just too brick down there. It was to the point where I was like, do I have to pee? Like, you know, like sometimes when you wake up and you have to pee and it's like, you know, it's really hard. I went and peed and it just was not going down. And mind you guys, out of this whole lodging, remember I showed you before, but out of this whole lodging, I split it in half and took half of it. And even then, it was too much. So if you guys don't want to be bricked up for too long, like it was the point where it was like almost for 2 days, it was like that. And it got to a point where it was just like uncomfortable. It's like, I already used it for its like intended purpose. Why am I still basically this brick? It was crazy. So I definitely think they put too much in these, especially that they're recommending you take a whole one underneath your tongue. If I would have took a whole one underneath my tongue, I don't even know what could have happened. So I'm so happy that I didn't. The second con, and this is something that kind of applies to all of these types of medicines. So Blue Chew, anything that has sildenafil, tadalafil, or vardenafil, which are the main enhancers for men to get erect. They're the main enhancements for down there. They normally do have the side effect, but my nose got really stuffy, guys. Now, it was to the point where thankfully it wasn't until after like I was done whatever interacting with my partner. I could feel stuffy nose a little bit while we were doing the deed, but it really wasn't until afterwards, guys. It was to the point where I was sleeping and I woke up with my nose being so stuffy. It was to the point where I felt like I could barely breathe. And that was like a little bit scary. You know, I had to do that thing where you like clear your nose, but like more than I've ever done in my life. Like, it was actually crazy. So again, I think that's a side effect for them just making these a little bit too potent. I would say if I were to take it again, I wouldn't even take a half. I would take a quarter, I would take a quarter. So I'd split this into 4s and just take one of the pieces, because not being able to breathe and having a super stuffy nose like that is not only super annoying, but it's also a bit scary as well too. And the third con, my eyes were a little red and watery and I felt like a slight tension headache. So again, with things like these, since they do act as like a blood vessel dilator, they like help the blood flow in your body. Sometimes that will like affect like your brain a little bit, because you know, we do have blood flow into our brain, and then also our eyes as well too. So thankfully I took it like really late at night, like right before we did the deed too. So like she couldn't see my eyes. But if you were to take this and like, I don't know, if you were out or something, you might look kind of crazy because your eyes would probably be really red and watery, and then it doesn't feel good to have that slight tension headache. Now, the headache was barely perceptible, like it was barely there, so it wasn't like a huge deal, but it still was there, and it's something that I noticed. So would I recommend you to try Rose Sparks? Would I recommend for you to try it out? If I had to give it an overall rating, I would say I would give it a 7 out of 10, just because it works really well. But the fact that it works too well, like it's too potent, it's a little bit too strong, I wouldn't recommend it for consistent use. Again, guys, just in general, I don't know what age you are watching this, but you don't want to rely on things like this. You don't want to rely on Blue Chew or Rose Sparks by Roman. These are kind of just for like little fun moments. That's how I recommend them to people that I coach and like my clients and stuff. So if you have like a girlfriend or a wife, save it for special occasions. Like if it's like Valentine's Day, or if it's her birthday, or if it's just like one of those like date night weekend things and you want to make the moment really special and you don't want to finish too quick. You want to be like stronger, you want to be longer, you want to be bigger, then okay, you can take it. But it should really be once in a blue moon, because although you can't get physically addicted to something like Rose Sparks, you could get mentally addicted to it. What I mean by that, some guys get to the point where they take performance enhancers so much that they start to have like performance anxiety when they don't have it. It's like if you're taking a Rose Sparks or a Blue Chew every time before you engage in sexy time, you're just going to tank your confidence in the bedroom, because then your brain is going to associate, oh, every time that I have sex, I have to take a performance enhancers. And you don't want it to be like that. You want to be able just to, again, from having a natural body, doing things like exercising, having a good diet, all the basics, from things like that, as well as natural supplements, still being able to shine in the bedroom. Again, guys, the first resource down below, I go over and I teach fully in depth how to get all of these same results that you would get from a Rose Sparks, but naturally. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below though, have you guys tried Rose Sparks? Are you thinking about trying it? I know sometimes as men, we have a hard time like talking about stuff like this with each other, but I think we should be able to have a mature, non-weird space about things like this. If you guys liked today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on post notifications, because I do post videos like this every single day. And now that you've learned about Rose Sparks, I would actually recommend Blue Chew a little bit more, and I have a full video over here reviewing it in depth, so make sure you check that out next, because it's a little bit better than this. I love you guys, and I'll speak with you very soon. I'll see you tomorrow.